Hi, I'm Mike with Bass Incredible, and we are here backstage with Scale the Summit's bassist, Kilian Duarte. Kilian.
Hey there, guys. Thank you so much for having me. It's awesome being here at the Fillmore in Philadelphia, day one of tour, and it's just kind of great to be here with, my friends in the Fine Constant, and obviously opening up for the legendary Marty Friedman. So, yep, awesome.
Awesome. Kilian, let's talk about this awesome bass that you have. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, no worries. So last November, I was approached by J Ferro, the CEO and owner of J Ferro Basses, to do a production model signature series for myself. And, after a couple months of design, this is what we came up with. So this is a KD-ES5, a Kilian Duarte signature model based off the Escalon body. So what this bass I was trying to go for is a Stingray and a Music Man hybrid that had a very kind of more modern look with some traditional features that was practical for almost any gigging application. So in the neck position, you have a traditional single coil pickup. So if you want to pan it forward, it just has that nice warm, very nice round sound. Blended, it's a nice hybrid, very much like if you ever played a Lakeland 5501, a lot of those really nice high-end humbucker single coil sounds, and then just a big fat Music Man style humbucker in the back, because that I've always found that Stingrays, especially when they have the multiple pickup option, always have like a really nice punchy yet articulate sound with really good string balance, and there's just a lot of applications for it, whether you're playing metal or funk or anything.
Awesome. Yeah, like a very fat sound.
Yeah.
Very cool. And tell us a little bit about the strings that you have on here. I see they're like a bright, looks like a metallic red color.
Yeah. This is actually when I joined GHS Strings as an endorsee, I was looking for a good, nice stainless steel string that had really nice, even tension and that was, very malleable. Unfortunately, a lot of string companies, they sound good, but then it's like very rigid, very telephone wire kind of feel. These are GHS Infinity Steels. They are slightly coated red stainless steel strings, gauges 126 to 44. And in general, I've found that they're extremely malleable. They're really nice and bright without being shrill or harsh. And in general, they just keep brightness for a while. They don't die very quickly. I can go 10 dates on a tour, and playing metal, sweating on stage, doing that without even hearing like a substantial drop in the high end, which anyone who does any rigorous touring knows that that's actually really good shelf life for strings. It's also the thing I like about it is that it just, it makes everything kind of smooth. The texture of it is not like a traditional stainless string where it has kind of like that kind of more like rigid, some people with more sensitive skin get cuts in them. This has kind of a feel, it's not like an elixir where it feels slippery, but it kind of just takes that edge off where it feels kind of a little bit more like a nickel string, which is like a nice best of both worlds, because nickel strings feel wonderful, but you lose more high end. But this one, you kind of get the best of both worlds.
For sure. Still maintain that brightness of the stainless.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, that is an awesome signature bass, man.
Yeah.
It's neck through, right?
Yes.
Let's take a look at the back.
So, I mean, the 90% of your tone is going to be a combination of your pickups, your hands, the biggest part in my opinion, and your amplifier. But I always did like how mahogany looked, and it's just a very tried and true wood. It looks nice. It's not too particularly heavy. It's used in a lot of standard instruments. So I wanted to go with mahogany wings, maple and walnut veneers for multi-laminate, so it's nice and reinforced and very solid. It's hard to tell here because obviously the lighting, but it is finished up to here, and then it's satin on the back, which is a natural finish, which I always kind of prefer, especially if you're sweating. It's kind of weird with lacquered necks. Not that it's always necessarily a bad thing, but that's my personal preference. I got a lot of reinforcement from a lot of people. They like the natural grain on the back of the neck. And then proprietary tuners, which are really nice. The ratio are it's nice and has meat to it. It's not a cheap tuner where you ever like, it's very flimsy and like you sneeze on it and then it's all of a sudden you have to tune it. It's got mass to it. Right. What else we got to do? We wanted to do flame maple for the top with a nice black stain. In the future, I want to see if I can go in different colors and have more color options, but nice traditional black, especially alongside with the maple and the wood grains, I felt was a nice touch. And yeah, one of the nice things that J Ferro does standard on all their instruments is that they do the kind of invisible side fret technology. I mean, literally what it is just that they find a way of putting the fret in without any feel on the side. So like no edges and there's just no remnants. So normally when you see a fingerboard, you see the cut on the side where the fret was placed. So it's not like that. So when you do like this, you don't feel any of the fret on any of the side of the thing, which is like just a nice little extra touch. 3-band EQ. Wanted to keep it really simple. So volume blend. Also, not an accident that they're back here because I had once a bass I loved, but whenever I'd slap or try and do anything more aggressive, especially if I try to strum or do anything like that, the volume knob, I'd actually sometimes turn it off. A lot of jazz basses have this problem. Yeah. So this is far enough away that the bass knob isn't going to be really a problem. 3-band EQ, bass, middle, treble, and then just 9-volt. And then kind of a nice thing, again, preference. I like to give people preferences with things. It's string through or top load for the bridge, which I like because, it depends on what you like. Or if you want to get a longer scale B string and run it through the body, and then, everyone has different preferences, but you got options there. Yeah, so that's pretty much the gist of this. 35-inch scale, stainless steel frets, which is nice because I hit like an asshole. So you're not gonna have to like repeatedly like get that chewing of the frets. So it's kind of nice for that. And yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Yeah, that's my bass.
Excellent. Yeah, beautiful bass. And we'll get some shots later of that beautiful flame top and the flame top in the headstock as well. So let's switch gears and let's talk about the other beautiful bass to your left.
I'm just gonna put it behind you. Really?
Sure.
There we go. This is the first J Ferro I got when I had a gig with Scale the Summit. It's an Arcadia 6. It's one of their first standard models. Pretty similar body woods, mahogany, maple walnut, which I thought was a good thing. Same top load, side load, 9-volt, same electronics. It's actually got the same big humbucker, proprietary humbucker here, but just 2 of them. It's actually a really nice fat sounding instrument. Lots of body, lots of cut, which is nice because the 2 big humbuckers and the way that Jose's preamp kind of works out. There's a lot of good string balance. A lot of times you pluck a low B and obviously you fill up the room, you're huge, and then you get to the C string and you're just invisible. It doesn't matter what the hell you play. I find that this one's pretty good. Yeah, nice little poplar burl. Actually this is flame maple? I'm not sure what the cap on the headstock is, but it's nice because it accentuates everything. Ebony fingerboard, and then actually a nice feature that I just added, which will be hard to see, but my good friend Dave Cohen at EQ Guitars, he added lumen lays that don't come standard, but I really like it. Actually, my production model, the next batch is going to come with lumen lays, which I don't know, it's dumb, it's kitschy, but it's actually useful. You're on a dark stage and you got those glow dots.
For sure.
It's cool. Upgraded it to Dunlop strap locks. I believe this is poplar burl. Sorry to the wood nerds out there that if I got that incorrect, but I believe that is correct. It is poplar burl top, which is really nice, especially because you can he kind of left it nice and open, so you can actually see the real permeations in the wood and little cuts and everything. And over time, my elbows kind of giving it a little bit nice of a sheen. Nice solid mass bridge, all metal tuners, black hardware. Again, good ratio for the frets, for the tuners, sorry. Frets are stainless steel as well, I believe. And yeah, it's pretty simple. Those have been my 2 main basses I'm taking on the road. I have a backup Kiesel 6 fader that I'm using, but mostly as a backup, and then these 2 are my main babies.
Excellent. Let's talk a little bit about your amp and pedal board setup here.
Yeah, definitely. So my philosophy for a lot of things regarding live tone is that the easier you make your signal chain, the more likely you are to have good tones, as long as you have pretty simple elements. So I'm literally running my basses into, a Polytune tuner, then into a dark glass supersymmetry compressor. Just because it is such dense music, it is kind of nice to have a little bit of compression, but I kind of boost the attack, so it gives it a little bit of teeth. I mean, it's a compression pedal. It's not anything crazy, but dark glass makes everything great, so it's not one of those compression pedals that all of a sudden makes you sound really fake. It just it's very natural sounding. So that's kind of the nice thing. And then right there into a dark glass Microtubes 900, which I absolutely love. It's an incredible head, D-class head. I believe it's 900 watts. Yeah, D-class. And it's just amazing to have the overdrive at the source. I was always a fan of dark glass pedals. When I remember my girlfriend, she bought me a dark glass B7K Ultra for Christmas one year. And I kind of fell in love with just how natural. It was almost like I'd been looking for it for years to have good overdrive, because everything else, it made you sound nice and distorted and you were good for bedroom tone. But then when you're in a band, you always had to shut it off because you kind of just sounded like an asshole that was sticking out in the mix. With the dark glass, it's almost kind of like, it gives you teeth when you need to, and it's dynamic responsive. That's what I like. So if I'm playing very light, it's almost like there's no overdrive on. So if I'm playing really softly and trying to minimize my dynamics, it's just fuzzy. And when I dig in, it growls like a lion, which is really nice, because honestly, sometimes for the set, even when the songs are super clean, I don't have to turn off the overdrive. I just adjust my dynamics, which is super fucking convenient. Sorry, but it's just like, how many years I had to search for that. So yeah, it's that Microtubes 900. I keep the overdrive on the whole time. I keep the drive pretty much at like 3, so it's not really oversaturated. This isn't like, I'm not playing like a tech def tone or anything like that. And it's kind of nice because it just blends with the guitars very nicely and with the bass drum very nicely. And that's just it. So pretty much my tone is just the GHS strings, the J Ferros, and then dark glass. And then
your hands. Yep. Excellent. All right, man. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for your time. And we're looking forward to seeing you shred up there later tonight.
Thanks, man. Thanks so much. Nice seeing you, dude.
Good seeing you too, brother.
Take care, guys.
Thanks.